All right, I'm here today with head Cleveland State swimming and diving coach and 2013 Horizon League Men's Coach of the Year, Wally Morton. After the men's swimming and diving team just won the Horizon League championship, and women came in second this past weekend. Coach, obviously a great weekend for you guys. Overall thoughts on just how it went?
It was a wonderful weekend. The only thing I would have topped it is two conference championships, and the women came up so very, very close. They still had an opportunity to win the conference championship in the last relay. But the men, after the first day, took control of the meet, stayed in the lead and to the very end. The women took control of the meet the second day, also had the lead right up to the last few events. And overall was just an outstanding meet from both the women and the men combined, and bring home an Horizon League championship for the men. We never take those Horizon League championships for granted. They're very, very tough to come by.
The two teams have been so close the last couple of years and improving both on the men's and the women's side. What was the key to getting over the hump this year, and maybe the senior leadership and how they stepped up?
Well, first of all, you know, I've got a whole new staff. They did a great job of coming in, not knowing me, not knowing the team, and working well with the swimmers. But I have to give my previous staff, and by the way, who I'm talking about is Bailey Nennick and Kevin Rapine, our senior assistant coach, and Bailey, who's assistant coach, and Rich Carbon, who's been there. He did a great job with the divers. And then my previous coaching staff did a great job of recruiting, and you have to have the horses in order to win. And I'm very aware of that, and I give them, even though they're not with us anymore and at other universities, a lot of credit for the success of our team. But this year, it was driven by the swimmers. They didn't let the change of coaches get in the way. They didn't let any distractions. And they could have had a lot of excuses for failure, but they weren't interested in failure, they were interested in success. And I give all the credit to the swimmers. Who led those swimmers? Well, on the men's side, it was Justin Hill and Mark DeSchwart that really step out. And a lot of others contributed, but those were our two senior leaders that really just willed our team to victory. And on the women's side, you know, Alice Somerville, and there's so many other, Gretchen Hesley, Joanna Olson, and Alexandra Johansson, and the Papalyas, Allison Palya in particular, who's a senior, really jump out at me, giving the women the great senior leadership they needed to go on for success.
How important is it in a meet like the conference championships, which are 4 days long, to have that senior leadership, and what is the key to staying focused and staying competitive all 4 days?
Well, what you do is you take each session by itself. You don't look ahead. You max it out each session, and you just look at the events. You perform at your highest level, and the only time final session is on Wednesday night, which starts the meet. And then the next 3 days, you have to get into the championship A final, if at all possible. If not, at least the B final, and score points. The more you get into the A final, the better chance you have to win a championship. So it doesn't do any good if you wait for your best swims in the evening if you haven't done them in the morning. So we really focused in on the morning sessions. And did we have things go wrong, or people didn't swim as fast as we wanted to, or score as high as they want to? Absolutely. Every team goes through this. You cannot let it be a distraction. You just got to move on to your next swim and do very, very well. And with one exception, we did that. There was an exception to that. But fortunately, it didn't happen very often.
Who are some key individuals? Maybe you guys were able to bring home multiple individual wins. Who are some key people who stood out on the individual side of the championships helping you guys?
Well, I'm not looking at the results right now, so you get in trouble when you do that. But we got off to a great start with the men by winning both the 200 free relay which was the first event. Then you had the 1,000. Mark DeShort wins the 1,000, and then you have the 200 medley relay. On the women's side, we had really great performances. Didn't quite win those relays, which traditionally we've won, but right up there, very, very close. And then one of the things that really stands out is the 1,000. And Jody Turk, who's a freshman, and Nikki Colas, who's a junior, had a really spectacular week of swimming in the distance events. And then we went on and had some wins in a lot of events. Mark DeShort was picked the swimmer of the meet. He just got touched out in the 500, but came back with a really great 1650 free and dominated the race. We had Al Shalito, and we swam him in an event that is not his primary event, the 200. He didn't win that, but he did win the 100 back and the 200 back, and arguably could have been picked as swimmer of the meet. He was the swimmer of the year, by the way, in the Horizon League was Al. And then you have Justin Kermack, who won the 200 fly. It really came from behind to win the 200 fly, which was a spectacular race. And then on the men's side, you also had another person win, which was Nathan Kermack in the 200 breast. Our sprinters were dominant, even though they didn't necessarily win the 50 and the 100 free. They dominated by getting a number of people in there, led by Barry Thompson, Justin Hill, and then in addition to that, Alex Lewis had a spectacular meet. By the way, he did win the 100 butterfly and left him out. See, this is what happens when I go off the top of my head. And he had a spectacular meet, by the way, and got into the finals in the 50 and the 100 free, and just went. We got a school record and pool record in the 400 medley relay because of his efforts. And then on the women's side, what can you say? Alice Somerville doing a great job, and Alexandra Johansson winning the 50 free, also winning the 100 butterfly and winning the 100 free. Actually, Alice won the 100 butterfly, and Alex got second to her. So we got 1-2 in that event. And Alice swam in some events which she may have had a better chance to win in certain other events, but she swam in those events to gain points and did a great job in all of her events, whether it be the 50 free or the 100 breast, which was a great event for her, the 100 back. She was right up there and was in contention to win all of those events, and did win the 100 butterfly.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the championships and the great season for both the men and the women.
Yeah, just one last thing. We really thank all of our alumni, our parents. We were the loudest, the most enthusiastic group. Our administrators, John Perry got thrown in, Christy Muller got thrown in the water, Winnie Lane, our academic advisor, does a fantastic job. It's one of the reasons that our women are 5th in the nation in grades. They were all there to support us, and you know, we need all of our Viking supporters. I'm not going to say Viking Nation, that's a much overused term, but we are the Vikings, and you never want to get us mad because you don't like us when we're mad. When we're mad, we win. And we had a great week in Chicago. We loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it. Never gets old winning.
All right, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.